Well, it's 49 days to Dubai Expo 2020, connecting minds, creating the future. Hello and welcome to News Blitz. These are the stories making headlines. Government and teachers meet over schools reopening. Church members arrested over teenage mother's death. Hope for contemporary arts in Zimbabwe. And in sports, can the mighty Warriors rise again? We'll give you the insights. But first, as COVID-19 cases continue to drop in Zimbabwe and with the weather getting warmer, face-to-face lessons are set to resume soon. But are all systems in place to curb the spread of the virus? Well, the answer to this question will emerge later today as teachers are currently meeting the Primary and Secondary Education Secretary Tumisang Tabela. Now, the ministry's spokesperson Taonga Nandoro confirmed in a text message that the meeting is underway and is being held virtually. Progressive Teachers Union of Zimbabwe President Dr. Takavafira Joe also confirmed that the meeting is underway with over 6 teacher unions present. He also noted that 98% of schools are not ready to reopen as they lack systems to curb the spread of the virus.
What we've realized is that 98% of the schools are not ready to open. 2% of the schools are ready to open, but these schools are private schools and former Group A schools. What you must note is that government must put its effort in terms of ensuring that public schools are ready to open.
Now, authorities in Zimbabwe say they have procured 12 million more doses of COVID-19 vaccines, bringing it to 18 million the number of doses procured to date. So far, the country has taken delivery of just over 6 million doses from China, India and Russia. The 12 million doses yet to be delivered include 6 million from China, 5 million from the WHO COVAX facility and just over 1 million Johnson & Johnson doses. Now, Zimbabwe is targeting to vaccinate 60% of its population by year-end to achieve herd immunity. Chief Coordinator of the country's COVID-19 response program, Dr. Agnes Mahomva, spoke to ZTN earlier today.
I can never give you an exact time because we don't control how the manufacturers then ship them and so on, but we have procured more vaccines. Zimbabwe can be confident of that. We just wait for delivery of those that we have procured.
Now let's take a look at the latest COVID-19 statistics in Zimbabwe. Third wave infections in the country have receded for 10 straight days, with new daily infections now averaging 572 from a peak of 3,110 infections on the 14th of July. Now the country recorded 800 new cases and 56 deaths in the last 24 hours. As at 12 August 2021, Zimbabwe had 118,754 confirmed cases, including 94,925 recoveries and 4,047 deaths. The country has so far administered a total of at least 3,098,000 COVID-19 vaccines. And still with the pandemic, this year's edition of the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair will go ahead as scheduled later this month, with exhibitors and service providers required to produce a COVID-19 negative PCR test valid for 48 hours. The trade fair is set to run from 23 to 27 August in Zimbabwe's second largest city, Bulawayo. Organizers of the exhibition told ZTN that the general public will, however, be exempt from mandatory tests but will be required to adhere to the Ministry of Health and Child Care guidelines and protocols on COVID-19 prevention. We spoke to Chief Executive of the ZITF company, Dr. Nicholas Ndebele.
As part of our safety and risk management plan, only participants who will be the ZITF throughout the duration of the show. I'm referring to exhibitors, contractors, suppliers and vendors who will be required to produce a COVID-19 free certificate, and it should be a PCR test taken no later than 48 hours before the show begins. And in addition, stakeholders are strongly encouraged to get vaccinated against COVID-19.
Away from COVID-19, police in Zimbabwe's Manicaland province have made several arrests in connection with the death of a 14-year-old girl, Memory Machaya. Now, Memory allegedly died while giving birth at the Johani Marangi Apostolic Church Shrine sometime in July. She was allegedly married off to one of the church elders. Speaking during the virtual 2021 World Population Day commemorations yesterday, Zimbabwe's Minister of Women Affairs, Dr. Stembiso Nyoni, said several members of the church have already been arrested over the matter.
My ministry has been alerted of the very disheartening report taking its results on the social media of this 14-year-old, and I think the deputy minister has also talked about it, who died while giving birth at the shrine in Ocha Marange in the Mutare district in Manicaland. I would like to inform the nation that we are working with the relevant authorities and the stakeholders, and I'm reliably informed that the culprits have been arrested and the law is taking its course.
Now, National Police spokesperson Assistant Commissioner Paul Nyati was not immediately available to give more details on the arrests. And back to COVID-19. Every crisis produces heroes, men and women who step up to make a difference. Now, while many of us would retreat to safety when disaster strikes, some brave men and women put themselves in the line of fire to save humanity. During this COVID-19 pandemic, there are such heroes who on a daily basis come face to face with the virus without flinching, battle unscathed, some bruised with and some have even hospital wards where COVID-19 patients are admitted.
And it's so sad to see someone apprehensive, calling for company, they will be close by. So when you attend to the patient, then you
to war. So even the workplace out for you. Yes, it's depressing, but we thank the management for giving us cancer.
Now, since the earlier, similarly, frontline workers in the battle against COVID-19 are against the pandemic. Let's hear a snippet of the number. Indeed, these are the heroes of our time. Now, a woman from Kwekwe, a city in Zimbabwe's Midlands province, is appealing for assistance from well-wishers to raise $17,000 for her 4-year-old son from a condition called hydrocephalus, which is causing his head to swell. She said Blessing was born with a bigger than normal forehead on the 1st of January 2018 on his son's condition. And moving on, a farm owner and his manager in Marondera, 72 kilometers east of Crispin Mariketi, were arrested on Thursday at the Shinari Mambo farm following a tip-off. Detectives found copper wires lying on the ground at the farm manager's homestead. The accused person was interviewed, which led to the recovery of another batch of copper wires, which had already been used to secure a guard. The police spokesperson, Inspector Simon Chazovachi, refused to comment and referred the questions to National Police spokesperson Assistant Commissioner Paul Nyati, who was not answering his mobile phone. On performance arts, other genres that are traditionally on the fringes have felt the heat even more. Contemporary art is one such genre that has suffered greatly, but there is some positive news as the galleries have been allowed to reopen, and to top it off, there is a competition which is being run by the National Gallery of Zimbabwe in collaboration with Morgan & Co. Now, the competition themed Masked begins on August the 19th. Artists with outstanding artworks will win cash prizes. We spoke to National Gallery of Zimbabwe curator for education and public programming, Livingstone Muchefa.
We are coming from the previous year, 2020, with the outbreak of COVID-19. The art industry was severely affected. And these artists, visual artists, that is to say, are part of the people that were also severely affected. And we've been trying to think, how best can we salvage them from such a dire, environment where They are making beautiful artworks, but they have nowhere to sell it. You know, travel bans across the world, even movement of what should be their clients is limited. So the coming in of Morgan and Company is one, you know, such a big uplift in terms of the support that we are looking for.
One of the adjudicators for the competition, Nesta Muzukira, says she is impressed with the quality of work.
And generally the work was quite impressive, given that this is the first year that we've had sculptures, and mainly stone sculpture dominated, but we also had some mixed medium, some installations that entered the competition, and also in most cases painting is the one that dominated. So it was really an interesting competition this year, because it factored in what people are experiencing right now in Zimbabwe. We're all going through the COVID pandemic, so the competition was focused on that. So you'd find that the work that was brought in tried to capture how people are affected by COVID.
He indicated that the securities firm is committed to supporting the arts sector.
As Morgan & Co., we feel that it is important to support the contemporary arts sector because of the lack of support that they have. We're all well aware of the issues that we're facing economically as a nation, and we feel that artists don't have the exposure that they require in order for them to make ends meet. This is our third competition running. Initially, it started off to support young and upcoming artists. This year, we've decided to bring a twist. The theme this year is masked, and we've expanded the age group from 18 to 41. Due to the global pandemic, we feel as an organization that artists require a medium or some sort of platform to express the things that they've been going through due to the lockdowns and various changes that we've all had to face as mankind. So why do we support contemporary arts? Because it is an important part of life, an important part of expression, and we are striving to bring our artists, the local artists in Zimbabwe, on the platform that they require in order to get the attention that they need.
Now, up north, vote counting is underway in Zambia, where millions of people cast their ballots in general and presidential elections. Long queues formed outside many polling stations, suggesting that turnout was high. President Edgar Lungu is seeking a second term, but faces a challenge from the main opposition candidate, Hakainde Hichilema. Samsung A. Lee Jae-yong has been released from a South Korean prison and is now on parole. He served 207 days in jail, just over half the sentence he received after being convicted of bribery and embezzlement in January. Now, the case involved the country's former president, Park Geun-hye, who is also in jail for bribery and corruption. Samsung Electronics was founded by Lee's grandfather, and he has been the de facto head since 2014. Up next is Sports News.
Wese anokurudzirwa kubaiwa nomba rekudzivirira chirwere cheCovid-19 kuti ashande aine utano hwakanaka uye kudzivirira vanoshanda navo. Nomba dzeCovid-19 dzakagadzirwa neruzivo rwepamusoro zvekuti akanaka uye anoshanda zvakasimba. Be a workplace hero and get vaccinated today.
Football action. It's interesting to know how 2019 champions FC Platinum will fare in the CAF Champions League. We are now joined by our correspondent Charmaine Chasweka for more on the team's situation after the draw in Cairo today. Hello Charmaine, preparations are not so pure for Platinum.
Thank you very much. Well, FC Platinum have less than 4 weeks to put their team into shape before plunging into the CAF Champions League battle. As a result of the COVID-19 situation, the football ban in the country really left the club in a very difficult position at a time where they also need to represent the country in Africa. So now the SRC clearance means they have to try and get back into the form they were in before the Chibuku Super Cup was halted. So they will definitely know the identity of their opponents today in the preliminary round of the CAF Champions League, and a draw set for Cairo.
Thanks very much, Charmaine. And now on to more football. Zimbabwe's Mighty Warriors have a chance to redeem themselves when they take part at the COSAFA Women Championship set for October and November. The big question, though, is how will the lack of domestic action affect them? The Mighty Warriors, once a regional powerhouse, will be in Group B along with Botswana and the East African guests Tanzania as well as South Sudan. Zimbabwe's rising archery star Bryce Hill's confidence has been boosted and the athlete is daring to dream big. The 15-year-old is currently active in the World Youth Archery Championship currently underway in Poland.
It's always nice to break records, but just being here is good enough for me. We're hoping to go to the 2022 All Africa Games, and then in 2023 we want to come to Ireland to do the Junior World Champs again, and eventually end up in Olympics someday.
We certainly wish you all the best, Bryce. And now for more updates, stay connected with us on Twitter at ZTN News, Instagram at ZTN, and of course our website, ztn.co.zw. Enjoy your weekend.